Well, again, thanks for being with us. We know that we have the pages on social media. On Facebook, we have Joy News on TV, and also a handle on Twitter at Joy News on TV. And we have a lot more things to talk about. Many of you will call it a tsunami that may have happened, as far as we are concerned, in the primaries of the NPP from over the weekend, and a number of notable names as reported in the media. Still, the very personalities who have been, well, hit by that very tsunami. So we'll try and take a look at some of those, but we also need to do detailed discussion, especially from those areas as well. What really is happening on the ground? What do the people feel? And what may have accounted for the downfall of many of those personalities, especially in the stronghold of the NPP in the Ashanti region? Yeah, definitely. One subject when you talk about the Ashanti region and you talk Kumasi is Maxwell Kofi Jumah, who was arrested on Saturday for destroying some electoral materials. And then we're told that he's headed to court today, this morning, really. So Love FM's, our colleague who's an editor with Love FM side, Ali Yakub, is joining us because he reported from that particular center where Maxwell Kofi Jumah was arrested. So good morning to you, Said.
Good morning, Mama V.
How are you doing?
I'm very well.
Okay, so first of all, great work on Saturday. Thanks for doing all the hard work on the ground.
Thank you.
Okay, so give us, we want an update on Kofi Jumah, but take us back to how he was arrested. Did he really destroy electoral materials?
Well, let me say that before the voting started, I mean, it was delayed for well over 2 hours because of accreditation issues. Now, finally, when they sorted all that out and we entered the voting hall, Mr. Kofi Jumah entered the hall, exchanged pleasantries with a lot of people in there, and then left on the quiet. Now, 5 minutes later, Madame Patricia Pierre entered the hall to a very rousing welcome, and there was shouts of Abemwewie, Abemwewie, which meant that it was a done deal. So about 10 minutes or so later, the entire voting process actually started. And then the Council of Patrons had voted. And then also, I think it was the turn of the Council of Elders also to vote. And then Mr. Maxwell Kofi Jumah entered the hall again. I saw him exchange a few words with one of the polling officials. What I am told by one of the issue officials is that his intention was to dash for the microphone they were using for the process to effect an announcement that they should stop the process because he doesn't have faith in the list of voters they were using. And particularly on that list of voters, you know, in contention, I am told that the Council of Elders and the Council of Patrons have 10 members each. And in every election, 5 of them will vote. Now, this document, the list of Council of Patrons and then the one of the Council of Elders are provided to the EC by the regional secretariat of the party. So in the process of the voting, one of Kofi Jumah's agents raised a question about that list, that he didn't have that list on his electoral, the register that has been made available to them. So the EC officials suggested that, well, this is a document provided by the party office. So if there is anything you have challenges about, then you have to talk to the party leadership. And I think somewhere along the line, that agent called Maxwell Kofi Jumah to inform him about that. So when Kofi Jumah entered, the EC official said to me his intention was to have dashed to, snatch the microphone and effect announcement that they should stop the process. But that was unsuccessful. So the next moment was that he attempted to snatch that paper, the list of Council of Elders. But the polling official also, in an attempt to protect the materials, also held that paper. So that paper, was torn into two, and some other election materials, dropped on the ground and stuff.
Okay.
So one of the officers tells me, when that attempt failed, the attempt to snatch that paper failed, Kofi Jumah actually hit him. He punched him. He said he punched him twice, and then he had wanted to retaliate, but on instinct, he decided to control his nerves. So the police rushed in and then got hold of Kofi Jumah and handcuffed him. So that's exactly what the situation was at the police station. So there was kind of some retaliation. Some members of the party, maybe if you like, on the opposing side, had wanted to retaliate, and that's where the police stood firm and made sure that nothing untoward happened.
Okay.
Because people have started throwing chairs all over the place, and people running out of the hall for dear life. So that is what exactly happened, Mama.
Okay. So Saidi, will come back to you because you're following this issue later on in court this morning.
Yes, I'm asking my colleague Erastus Asadronko to be at the court to follow for proceedings.
Okay, we'll come back to you later for a lot more details. Thank you very much. That's my colleague who is editor with Lava Firm in Kumasi, Said Ali Yakub. But we also do have the General Secretary of the NPP joining us for a brief conversation. I want to say good morning to you and thank you for your time. Hello, Kwame Japan, good morning and thanks for your time.
Very good morning, and thank you for the opportunity as well.
So, first of all, we want to say congratulations to you, because even though there are some 28 constituencies still on hold, you conducted the primaries in the other constituencies. So, congratulations.
Thank you very much, and it's unfortunate that the media loves the sensation. So, it appears that having held successful primaries in 244, in fact 45, and then it's just that one incident in Asapa which is dominating the headlines on the news portals. But I believe that we should not take anything away from the fact that the NPP has shown, especially the delegates, the activists, and everybody, having taken in the circular that we sent around to them, have shown that they really believe in the process of selecting and electing their leaders in a peaceful manner. And all happened simultaneously, and I do believe that they deserve the credit for what has gone on.
But this is a very significant happening as well. Maxwell Kofi Jumah being arrested for what he did, reportedly destroying electoral materials. What has the party got to say on that?
Well, I don't want to comment on that right now because I haven't received a full report from the constituency or the region yet. But I do believe that the police and the authorities would handle that, and then we'll be following it very keenly.
Let's talk about some of the party bigwigs, some of the big names in Parliament who unfortunately will not be going back after the 2016 elections. What's the party's position? You've lost some really, really big names.
Well, the party's position remains the same, that we respect the verdict of our electorate. And we have insisted that everyone has to go back and seek a mandate from the people who entrusted the mandate to them in the first place. And I think in the supreme judgment of the masses of our party, they take a decision and we respect that decision. So, and that's what it is. I think people should not make too much of a fuss about what has happened. The fact of the matter is that is the will of the people, and that's what they want. And we respect that. As a party, we want to give the ownership of our leadership to the grassroots, and it is what they decide that we always abide by and we respect. And I do think that they've taken decisions based on how they see things for the future of the country. One very fantastic thing is that a lot of youth is coming through. I mean, it's a regeneration. It's like a new, roller coaster regeneration of the human stock of our party, and it's making it more attractive to the women, making it more attractive to the young people, and it goes to show you that the policy to give a discount to the youth, 50% discount to the youth and 50% discount to the women, has really caught on. I mean, despite the fact that we had issues and challenges with the affirmative action, it encouraged a lot more women, especially the younger ones, to file. There's a record number of women who filed, and despite the ones who have lost, as you said, are the ones who have been there for a significant amount of time. So it is a regeneration of the stock of the party, preparing this party for the future, and I think it's great news for everyone who believes in Ghana and believes in democracy.
You also did lose quite a number of women, those that you were seeking, some people had said that you were seeking to protect. They will not be going back to Parliament.
I think perhaps you have forgotten the detail of the affirmative action that we tried to take. We were not seeking to protect the individuals. We were seeking to protect women. And so I think at that time, the decision of the National Executive was to only allow women to contest these women. And so therefore, it's not the individuals who we're protecting. It shows that we are committed to allowing a lot more women in the process. And even by so doing, and the media hype that surrounded that event, encouraged a lot more women to file. I mean, young women in their 20s filing and defeating incumbents. And, it's good for the party. The party has a place for young women. It's attractive for young women and the youth. And I think it's a good sign what happened on Saturday.
Is that to say, really, that you're excited about this 21, 22-year-old woman or young lady who is apparently in her second year?
I don't have her nomination form in front of me, but I think she's given interviews to suggest that she's more than that. But anyway, it doesn't matter. I mean, the fact is, young people who feel a sense of belonging to our political tradition. And politics is about people. It's about winning more souls. Also, if they feel they have a place and they will be given a chance. In fact, I personally went out to in my message, if you quite recall, during the National Council meeting, I said that we want to encourage our delegates to look on our women candidates with a more favorable eye, And I think a lot of new entrants, younger people have come through. Some defeated very senior incumbents. So it just goes to show you, as I say, politics has a way of regenerating itself, and we're generally having a production line of new people preparing for the future. It just goes to show you that the future of the NPP is very bright. We have a new crop of very young people who are going to be in Parliament from the 2017, and it just bodes well for the future of our country.
Let's talk about these 28 constituencies. We were told that elections will be held in some 2 weeks. Is this still the same for all the 28, knowing that you have some issues in court?
Because we really wanted to clear this parliamentary hurdle, we have set a tentative date. And I do believe that most of them may be able to meet that tentative date. But of course, a lot depends on the work of the National Appeals Committee. I think it's 30 because there were 2 more constituencies which were stepped down. Sola in the northern region, and I believe one other, just for technical reasons, was stepped down. And so therefore, they'll be adding up to the lot. On the 27th, I mean, the National Appeal Committee will continue to work this week, and we are very hopeful that by the end of this week, they would have concluded their work, and we will be in a position to add them to the list of constituencies that would have elections on the 27th of June.
This is a very expensive exercise that you've just carried through with another set to come. How much is it costing the party to undertake this exercise, the primaries gone by and the one yet to come?
Oh, my dear, I don't think you expect me to give you all the financial details. But I want to use this opportunity to thank the Electoral Commission of Ghana. We collaborated with them to take charge of the 240 or so polling stations that were opened nationwide. We used the public regulations, the public election regulations to conduct these elections. So they were in charge, like we're doing in any other national election. Of course, we had to pay for all the human resource and the deployment and the logistics and the printing of the ballots and the notices of poll. It cost us money, but I think democracy is better than chaos. So we think it's money well spent. And also to the Ghana Police Service for the wonderful cooperation we've had. You know, they deployed personnel around all the places, and in areas where there were flashpoints, they were quick to respond and react. And so therefore to have 240 elections at the same time, and apart from that one incident maybe you talked about, it's gone on reasonably peacefully. And I think it's time for sober reflection for our party members, that if they will listen to the hierarchy and if they will follow the directives and the circulars that we send to them to the letter, and we'll get through with things much easier.
It's amazing, but you forgot the media.
Oh, in fact, I haven't forgotten. You played a yeoman's job, right on the money, real-time reporting, during counting, during declarations. And I'm still awaiting the official declaration sheets from the Electoral Commission. I hope but I can pick that today, so I haven't commented on what we have received, because you never know what may come up. There were one or two constituencies that the elections were so tight that you never know whether one may ask for a recount or anything like that, which sometimes we allow.
So are you going to be preparing particularly the new young ones so that they can get the necessary experience before they get into Parliament? Because experience has been talked about in the past 2 days.
Well, the party has a way of carrying out workshops and training and collaborating with some of our sister parties internationally. Mind you, we are members of the International Democratic Union, so we have very good relations with the Konrad Adenauer and the CDU party, which is the governing party in Germany, the Conservatives in the UK, the Republicans in America, and so therefore, and many others. And so we collaborate across the Democratic Union of Africa, with the Democratic parties in Ghana. The MPP is the host of the office, the Africa office of the Democratic Union of Africa. So there are various ways that we can bring people in or send people out to gain a lot more experience and how to do their legislative duties. But more importantly, we are focused on the big picture, which is win in 2016. And so right now, I do believe that they have to get back into their constituencies, work with the party structures, and then be very collaborative, especially very inviting and magnanimous with the ones that they defeated, because we need everybody on board. Every vote counts, and we want the three S's to shine through: service, sacrifice, selflessness. That should be the foundation of this our political tradition. It's always been. And that makes the MPP a very attractive party for people to join. And we respectfully want to engage all executives who voted, and that they are the ones who are the 5 executive polling stations, and they have to go out and be the advocates of these parliamentary candidates that they've selected, and also our presidential candidate who is on the threshold of becoming president.
All right, Commander Japan, we'll leave it here. I'm sure we'll continue our conversation another time, but thank you so much for your time.
That's a pleasure.
That's the General Secretary of the New Patriotic Party, Kwabena Ejapong.
Well, so we're still giving you a lot more insight into, well, what the atmosphere is and really what happened and transpired, especially in the Ashanti region, which is a stronghold of the NPP following those primaries that were convened there. A number of key personalities and very strong, very knowledgeable people, as well as very experienced people, lost their seats. And one of the regulars on AM Talk, on the AM show, is Dr. Owusu Efriya Koto. He's a member of Parliament of Kwada, so he lost his seat. He's on the line and joining us. And a very good morning to you. But particularly, well, the obvious question I have to ask you is, what do you think went wrong with the delegates?
Nothing went wrong with the delegates. The delegates are sovereign. They decide what is best for the party in the constituency, and they've spoken with one voice. So we have to respect their decision.
Did you see this coming, Dr. Akuto?
Absolutely not. But that is life, Life is full of risk. You do your best and hope for the best result. And if you don't achieve it, it doesn't mean the end of the world. You have to move on. And that is my attitude towards life.
All right. It's an obvious time not to be sending all the appellations to everybody else except you. And I know that I seem to sense a strong disappointment in your voice, and especially...
No, I'm not disappointed. Listen, this is a prelude to the big trophy itself. December 2016. Nana Adodankwa Akufo-Addo must become president of this country to redeem us from this very shambolic government that we have, which has brought all the hardships onto the people of this country, and we're destroying employment, and industry, and doom so and all that. That is where our energies should be focused on. The exercise last Saturday was the final leg in the preparation of this party towards the 2016 election. We should put things in context. That's what I'm saying. We have a candidate, a new candidate in Kwadaso, and in 17 other constituencies in Ashanti. It doesn't mean that we are still members of parliament until January 2017. We have a responsibility to the people of the constituencies that we represent in parliament. And our commitment to our party, at least I can say for myself, that it is 100%. So it's it's a process which is ending in December 2016. And we will do our utmost to ensure total victory for us.
Well, you only just need to lose a contest or an event, then you get to know those who say all the things about it. We've had a lot more articles written in the media the last 24 to 36 hours than we can ever find as far as this is concerned. And the thing is that people like you, experienced hands, very knowledgeable, etc., are going to be missing in the next parliament, and really also not contributing what you should and have been contributing the last 3.5 years, so to speak.
Well, it's more than 3.5 years. You're talking about how long I've been in parliament?
Sure.
Yeah, no, it's 6.5 years.
Well, 6.5 years. Good for you.
Yes, I'm doing 210. Yes, I understand. I mean, that is what really gladdens my heart, that the contribution that I've made in the area of food, agriculture, and cocoa in particular seems to have attracted a lot of attention of the people of this country. And to me, that is a recognition of a work well done. But that doesn't end in Parliament. You see, fortunately for me, Parliament presented me with a platform to be able to speak on issues of great interest to the nation, to do with food, agriculture, cocoa, commodities, and so on. These are my fields. I mean, I schooled in these areas, and my experience and everything, my career has been built on these issues for many, many years. So my transit through Parliament is only a transition. You know, I didn't expect that I would be a career parliamentarian, that my technical knowledge will be brought to bear on the issues and debate and so on in Parliament. And as I'm saying, as you yourself admit, at least it is recognized that I have succeeded in that. And that platform which has been given to me will be sustained. I mean, outside Parliament, I'll still be advocating for the farmers of this country, for the fishermen of this country, for the cocoa farmers of this country, because these are the hanging fruits that can turn this country around in a short, medium term. We have the potential. It's just unfortunate that wrong policies are being applied. People don't seem to even understand the role that policies, pricing policies, input policies, and all those things play in advancing our well-being. And it saddens me, because I've worked in many, 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 many countries, from Brazil to Vietnam and so on all these subjects. And to come back to my own country to see that the agricultural industry is being mismanaged, seriously being mismanaged, it really breaks my heart. And when you talk about it, nobody listens to you. You don't make an impact with the policy makers, because either you are on the other side, or I don't know. I don't understand that logic. But anyway, I will continue outside Parliament to be a great friend and advocate of the poor farmer.
All right. Let's forget about all the things that we've been talking about, the experience and things like that. But you do agree that the party will have a Herculean task, again, trying to reorient people who perhaps have limited scope as far as their experiences are concerned to fit into the holes that you perhaps may be leaving, etc. Not necessarily you, but the vast majority of you who have lost your seats.
Yeah, but that is the shortcoming of our system. You see, I mean, you go to America, you go to England.
Well, precisely that, because that's not pervasive there. That's why.
No, what you are saying is that we don't seem to be able to maintain parliamentarians over a period of time to enable for Parliament to benefit from
precisely.
Yes, and I'm adding to I'm saying I agree with you, And that is a defect of our system, of our political system. You know, we should be able to ensure that there's some retention of experienced parliamentarians who would go to improve the work of Parliament for the benefit of the country. Because if you have a large turnover, you know, 123 NPP MPs the last time, 60 of them were brand new. They were just new. And some of them have even lost their seat 2.5 years into their first term. So it brings a lot of instability in our system of democracy. And I think that it is a defect that should be corrected both at the party level and at the national level.
And the last question before I let you go, how do you think we can improve that, especially once we say we're adopting the best practices? We try as institutions politically, the political parties, the states, and also the media, we try to conscientize our electorate that we need to make sure we have people who need to hit the ground running, but also need to learn from people who should be their mentors, not the mentees becoming the mentors, so to speak.
I think the source of this problem lies in the constitutional arrangements of our political parties. You know, a too blanket. All rules and regulations are blanket instead of being selective and targeted. You know, I hope you understand what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that if we say that every 4 years we should open up our parliamentary seat to every member of the party to contest, there should be some conditions under which these contests will take place to ensure that we retain a minimum amount of experience amongst the caucuses in Parliament. If the political parties can take that initiative, then it's easier to deal with it at the national level. But at the moment, it's just, I think in this respect, the NDC does far better than us in managing these kinds of situations. The NPP is too laissez-faire in applying these rules, and we are seeing the consequences of that.
Thank you very much. And we have been speaking to Dr. Owusu Efriakuto, a member of Parliament for Kwadaso, and well, he lost his seat over the weekend, and this is what he polled. He was able to garner 98 of the votes, that's the total vote cards, but also his opponent got 191, that's Samuel Kwejo-Nyama, who is the elected official, and that was followed by Vincent Frimpong-Menu, okay, as well. Oh, okay. I hear Vincent Frimpong-Menu won. Really?
Okay, but this is one of the things that I have been thinking about. You know, Dr. Akoto and all the others who have lost their seats, Richard Anani and co. Dr. Richard Anani and co. They would have to spend another 1.5 years in Parliament, and I'm wondering what their posture would be, because now, is it more like they don't owe the constituency anything?
I've witnessed it before.
What happens?
I remember back in 2004 and also in 2008, especially for the NPP, because they were in power then. Many of the notables did not even envisage that they would lose their seats. So you get to see that they have a year, especially in office. And once you have a year in office, you get to see that they were concentrating more on how to cope with the atmosphere outside office. So their participation really, even though they tell you they are very much convinced, etc., some of them may have left lucrative jobs outside, and so they try to restructure their lives and try to see where they can fit in better, because you never know, you're going to have a new administration, especially when you have an administration that is in office. It's even more difficult. But this one, you have a party that's in opposition, so perhaps you're hoping that you win, and when you win, you'll be given a stake to contribute to the state in various capacities. That even becomes more difficult when you don't know whether you'll be part of the mixed bag or not, of the current flag bearer. Or, you know,
I get it. So two things I'm
thinking. You get to see that the posture, they'll tell you we're well, but the posture physically is just not adequate.
Charlie, he's thinking about what will happen after.
Yeah, he'll give you all the pep talk. You know, but it's a bit difficult.
I'm just thinking that, so for the next 1.5 years, you should be looking at what kind of job you would get. Maybe you should be looking for a job. Or
yeah,
what
you
you
need
would
to.
do.
Many of them have experience. For example, we just spoke to Dr. Akoto. He has a PhD. He's worked in various capacities, etc. So at the end of the day, at the end of the day, they tend to say, well, they apply to international agencies and try to go back to the diaspora and work and do all that.
Listen, that's one area of interest. But let's speak to the minority leader
he's
in
on the line.
Parliament who's joining us on the phone lines. Ms. Oseiche Mensah-Bonsu, thank you so much, and good morning to you.
Good morning, and thank you for having me.
I think it's appropriate to also say congratulations because you retained your seat. Not your seats, but you know, in terms. Say again?
If you deem it appropriate to say so to me, I will welcome that.
Okay, but let's talk about some of your colleagues who unfortunately will not be going back to Parliament in 2016. What do you have to say about that? I mean, did you see it coming? Dr. Richard Anani, we just spoke to Dr. Owusu Efriye Akoto. Did you see that they were going to fall?
I didn't see that at all. And it came to me as a big surprise, especially with Owusu Efriye Akoto. I didn't have any inhibitions at all. But then it's part of life. It happened, and I believe you take it easy and move on. But my wish is that he doesn't abandon the party, and I believe he will not do that. I pray that all the others who have lost out would keep faith with the party. I guess what you have to do is to immediately convene a meeting and then see the way forward for us.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Okay. So let's talk about yourself, because initially we thought it was going to be tough for you. Honestly, I thought so. And I stood here on Friday on our show, and I said that maybe the MPs should be concentrating more in their constituencies, because it looks like that is what matters. We thought the competition for you in particular was going to be tougher than it was.
Oh, well, there was a lot of heat that was generated. I knew that it was very well grounded, that people who really didn't know what was happening in the constituency bought into I would say, the propaganda that was being played out, and people caught fright. I would say that some of the discussions, some of the issues that were raised really bordered on causing fear and panic in my constituency. But at the end of the day, I think we triumphed.
Did you hear people say you should go independent at some point?
Me?
Yes.
Oh, nobody then made bold to make that declaration to me, because I knew that was not the equation at all. And even if I had lost, I would not have thought of running as an independent candidate. God forbid.
But is it true that sometimes the MPs forget about the constituencies where they are coming from? The fact that they are representing those people within their constituencies, and then they take up all other responsibilities in Parliament?
Speaking for myself, I'm the minority leader. And people expect me to be in Parliament every day if I've not traveled out of the country, or maybe engaged in some workshop. You know, that is what people expect you to be doing. So I've come time for myself. Notwithstanding, if I'm not out of the country and I'm in Ghana and I am not engaged in any workshop with my colleagues, I necessarily must come to Kumasi. So I don't spend weekends in Accra. I spend weekends in Kumasi and make sure that I touch base, have meetings with my constituency executives, have surgeries with the various communities and so on. And yes, you see, it is not that simple. If my grandmother told me a story growing up involving two men who had married two sisters. One was regularly paying what is called chop money to the wife. He was paying 1 peso a day, those days, for 365 days. The other one traveled out, and after about 4 months, brought 5 shillings to the wife. Another 4 months, 5 shillings. Then in December, he brought 10 shillings. Now, if you did the calculation, the person who paid 5 shillings, and 10 shillings had paid 240 pence those days. The one who paid a penny a day for 365 days had paid 365 pence. That was more than £1, 10 shillings. However, it was the one who brought 5 cities, 10 shillings, who was applauded. You know, people, because they see you on daily basis, don't appreciate what you do for them on daily basis. That is unfortunately human. So when some people who will not be showing up in the constituency descend on the constituency and start dishing out money to them, people forget about what you have done all the while. That's part of humanity.
Is that to say that you didn't give out? Is that to say that you didn't give out any monies yourself?
I thought you heard what I've been saying. I mean, occasionally, because people stand for the party, occasionally, like Christmas, maybe you let the people have a feel of some enjoyment, maybe money to buy, maybe chicken for the Christmas. You do these things. You have meetings with them. You have the meetings. Maybe you provide some drinks. Anytime you have meetings with them, maybe more subjects to them. But as I'm saying, all these things you do. But somebody descends from nowhere, and the person is giving them huesum. They forget that all the while you have toiled with them. You've been with them throughout. As I'm saying, that is human nature. I don't want us to go into that. So it's not, the issue is not as if the members abandon the constituency. You may have 1 or 2 people who may abandon the constituency, but the greater number keep faith with their constituency. It's unfortunate that this peeling off is becoming a major issue. I think as a party we should do some serious introspection and see where we fall short and maybe change our steps the next time around.
Finally, sir, I've been trying to ask my colleague this. For those members of parliament who would not be returning to the House, what do you expect from them in terms of their contribution to the work of parliament? Because I am feeling, for instance, that they should be thinking about what they will be doing if they don't have any parliament to go to.
Of course, many of them were in useful employ before they came to parliament. So those of them who were not public servants, I think there should be easy for them to go back. But the public servants are the people who suffer the greater impairment in these matters. But I believe that they'll be able to find their bearings. We need to have a meeting with all of them and see and together plot a way forward for them.
Do you think they'll bring their best to the House, knowing that they have just about 1.5 years more to spend there?
Yeah, I think so. I think they should be able to do that. But we are all human. Somebody may become so disappointed that initially, at least, he may withdraw a bit. But all told, I expect that we'll join ranks, because the bigger battle is ahead of us in December 2016. We'll join ranks, keep faith with the party, so that together we prosecute the battle of December 2016.
Okay. All right, sir, we'll have to leave it here, but thank you so much for your time. We wish you the very best in the future. That's Minority Leader in Parliament, Osei Chamberlain Sabonsu, who overwhelmingly also won, even though there was a lot of talk around that he was likely going to lose. But there you go, he won his seat as well.
Let's just run by you the names. We have Kofi Frimpong, Kwabre East, Simon Ose, Mensa Bosomche, Isaac Ose, Subin Henry, Kwabna Kokufu, Bantama, Edward Enin, Obuasi East, Francis Adai Nimo Mampong, Dr. Richard Ananin Shaeso, Dr. Owusu Efria Koto Kwadaso. We also have Kwejo Ban Ajamain, Asante Achim North, Atabuafo, Formena, Joe Hendricks, Ifija Secretary East, Frank Boachi Ifidiasia Sokore, Anthony Ose Boachi, Etriman Webieja South, Robert Safo Mensa, Esunafo North, Cecil Yowumbe, Tatale Sungole. We have William Oforiboafo Kropong, Ya Usu Boating, Asim Mansoa Crosso. And we also have Justice Joe Apia, who lost here in the Greater Accra region of the Ablekuma North constituency. And so those are the names. But over the period, we've had Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo bringing out a statement formally to congratulate the newly elected parliamentary candidate, as well as those who seem to have retained their positions in the primaries as well. That in that very primary that was convened over the weekend. And he said he was excited about the competitive nature of the event, the high level of participation, enthusiasm and camaraderie that the elections generated among party activists, gave an indication of the party's collective energy and commitment to the struggle ahead for the 2016 presidential and parliamentary elections. And he again noted in the statement that internal party contests are not about winners and losers. Indeed, they are about the party winning overall. He was hopeful that the rank and file, as well as those elected and those who have lost, will forge ahead in a united manner in the party's quest to restore hope for Ghanaians. He says this is a party's sacred duty, and so let everybody be up and doing. And he hopes that God will bless the party and their generality overall.
Okay, so we do have a lot more discussion, but an issue that we all, got to know about. We reported it extensively here. There's some good news, even though the news itself is bad. You remember that young graphic designer who was shot and killed after armed robbers entered his apartment somewhere in Kwashiman? Well, the good news about that sad incident, that somebody has been arrested. Apparently, he's suspected to be the leader of that armed robbery gang that was going around the vicinity that particular day, ended up shooting and killing this young 27-year-old graphic designer. He is now in the grip of the police and they are investigating, so that's a good one, even though the story itself is not really.
Yes, it's a good one. A very tragic incident there. Just got married not too long after. We're told 30
wife
days or something.
pregnant.
Yeah,
and all.
A very tragic incident there. But then we'll have to give you a lot more updates on the subject. But we'll also be speaking a lot more on the ramifications of the primaries as the NPP convened, especially the fallout from the Ashanti region and elsewhere. So do stay on, we'll have a lot more for you.
Oh, before we go, I want to say a belated happy birthday to a woman who is so sweet. She has a big heart. She's wonderful. Her name is Mama Jane, and she goes to ICGC Christ Temple. It was your birthday, Mama Jane, yesterday, and I want to wish you a happy belated birthday. And God richly bless you. I love you so much. You are the best.
Do stay on.